Welcome to the 5th episode of the Tell It Like It Is Hip Hop News Reaction Podcast, people. Old ninjas, young ninjas, Trippie and 6ix9ine still at it. And who kissed Bhad Bhabie? Stay tuned. Thank you guys for tuning in to the 5th episode of the Tell It Like It Is Hip Hop News Podcast. This is your host, SP the Artist, signing in. And today I want to get right into it and talk about this old ninja song by Bhad and Cordae, which is fire. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about the current tension between Tekashi 6ix9ine and Trippie Redd still going, and who actually kissed Bhad Bhabie. Man, oh man, somebody's in trouble. Okay, let's get right into it, folks. I had seen a fire video by a young artist, Bhad and Cordae, whom I feel could very well be labeled as one of the future GOATs. I mean, this kid is lyrical. I mean, he will put any old bitter rapper to shame. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I'm always gonna call it like it is and give credit where credit is due. The reason why I want to touch on older rappers or older dudes against young dudes is because I just see a lot of hypocrisy. Let's just put it out there. There's a lot of dudes that's been standing out through history. Tupac was one of them. I mean, he was literally tattooed before most hip hop artists, and that was kind of considered weird if you're outside of the West Coast, because most people weren't tattooed like that, especially black artists. And as far as like rainbow hair and tattoos and facial piercings, sure, we do give Wayne credit for that, and you know, his influence over the new group of Lils in the rap game. But let's face it, Dennis Rodman was one of the first rainbow head standout guys with what they would call clown antics, but he was very entertaining on that damn court and one of the best rebounders in the game. So I say that to say we need to let go of the narrative that young rappers are trashing hip hop. Because if the way I see it, they're actually pushing the movement forward. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, people want to get into the whole, free thought, freedom speech, thing, but they criticize every little thing that people are doing. And none of us are freaking perfect. Sure, a lot of the celebrities are getting called out or whatever. And the reason why I don't get shocked, people, is because we're humans at the end of the day. Like I said in earlier episodes, you know, the narrative was put out there that, you know, celebrities were perfect, they were godlike, and we put them on pedestals. And I recently saw the interview between Angie Martinez and J. Cole, and he spoke on that. Like, it's a problem, and he's right. Like, he didn't talk about or point any fingers at people being imperfect. He just said, hey, it's just simply unhealthy for us to put these people on pedestals and then get upset when we find out that they're human like us. And I gotta say this, a lot of times, and I certainly don't agree with, and I gotta say it again, I'm not here to defend, artists and celebrities just because of their celebrity. Wrong is wrong. I do not agree with abuse of women, abuse of children, animals, men, any of that stuff is wrong. You know, I myself am not perfect. I had a sordid past. You know what I'm saying? I was a big cheater. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I never broke the bro code. I never slept around, with any of my homeboys, male family members, women, and none of that. But yes, I did cheat on ex-girlfriends. I did cheat on my ex-wife. I'm not perfect. But I turned myself around, and that's why I don't like to jump out there and knock anyone down. Anyone can pick themselves back up and correct themselves. And I feel like that's pretty much should be anybody's end game, like your self-correction. You know, those of us that are old enough to remember, Robert Downey Jr., his train wreck episode. I mean, this guy made one of the biggest comebacks ever, but we initially wrote him off for never ever getting his shit together. It seemed like he was incorrigible, which is a word that I feel as though we just can't throw that title around to people young or old, because I feel like being incorrigible is a choice. If you don't have any sort of, brain dysfunction or whatever, if you have cognitive functionality, you literally can rewire your mind and improve the way that you think and improve your behaviors. And that's pretty much what I'm rooting for. Criticizing does nothing. in my personal opinion, I feel like when we criticize people, that's what brings people to the boiling point. Because on one hand, we're talking about scripture and Christians saying, oh, forgive this and, forgive and confess and all of this. And then on the other hand, we want to condemn people when they simply behave as human beings, period. We want to condemn them. So it's understandable if some people feel like it's hopeless. There's no need to try to improve because they're being condemned by the decisions and the mistakes that they've made. And let's face it could be somebody that has a murderous past. If they break through and have fame, now we have some sort of bias, some halo effect has come upon them, and now we put them on a pedestal versus someone who hasn't found a path, and we just simply hold that framing of their negative deeds in their past against them. And I'm puzzled, especially when it comes to the situation with like R. Kelly. And by the way, anybody who viewed that tape, you're pretty much like supporting pedophilia yourself. That's just how I look at it. That's how I look at it. But when I see situations like that, I'm not surprised. Now, I'm not going to take any credit away from people like R. Kelly or any of these guys, but I just want to say YB and Cordae brings up a good point. A lot of the older guys want to sit these people down and give people advice and all of this, when not too long ago, they fucked up themselves. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of shit is coming to light. And I'm not saying that these young guys are making any better decisions, but what I'm saying is we have to hold ourselves accountable and we have to set better examples. You know what I'm saying? And we have to be more transparent. And I'm not saying that air out all your dirty laundry or whatever. No one is above anyone. You know what I'm saying? No one is perfect. We don't have to absolve to our fellow man. But what I'm saying is, in general, we can be transparent about our flaws. We can be transparent about our shortcomings because that's how we learn. That's how we freaking grow. So to act like we're perfect and then get upset when we get knocked off a pedestal, that's on us. We set ourselves up, but we definitely shouldn't go around fingers at the youth when there's a lot of cleaning up and self-correction that we as an older generation have to do. You know what I'm saying? I have 4 younger sons. I have an older son as well. And I'm always stressing to them whenever I get the opportunity that do not follow me in the mistakes that I've made in my past. But I'm also making it a point to self-correct. Okay. It's not enough to say, hey, don't do what I do and you're still on some shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't do as I do as I say. No, that is illogical. Simply set better examples. And that's it. That's why I applauded Jay-Z for the 444 album. I felt like Jay has set the examples. And I felt like a lot of people was upset of him, revisiting, the whole drug dealing past and whatever. As a former drug dealer myself, I can say this. Jay-Z, I felt like really never glorified it. I felt like even from Streets is Watching, Reasonable Doubt, I felt like he really warned people and he was trying to put people up on game as to don't jump off that porch into this. This might not be, what you want. You know what I'm saying? You may not be ready to actually sign up for this. That's what I got from it. So I felt like Jay is one of the better examples, and not just because of his money. I feel like he exemplifies a lot of discipline. And I'm not saying that he's perfect. Of course, the man just admitted to cheating or whatever. Look, all I'm saying is we got to do better ourselves before we point fingers and judge these young guys. Every time I'm turning around, they criticizing somebody for gang culture. And I'm not throwing shade at Cardi B. Cardi B even represents gang culture. So that's why I had a problem with Ebro, showing some sort of bias towards Tekashi 6ix9ine. I wouldn't say it's a popular opinion, but some people see it that he may have a problem with 6ix9ine because he didn't break him. 6ix9ine wasn't necessarily blackballed because he wasn't that big, but he didn't get a lot of support, from radio and a lot of people. He's pretty much, I can't say self-made, but him and his team put him in a higher light, despite all of the negative press and the negative stuff around him. And to me, he's an inspiration. I'm sorry, him and Cardi B are inspirations because and the reason why I consider them to be outliers because they were true underdogs in every sense of the word. Like hearing the story surrounding 6ix9ine and that controversy that he was surrounded in, I did not think that this guy could shake that off. And I'm proud of the fact that he takes all of it and presses forward. So I'm looking at the positive side of it. And I'm not saying that we should all be all unicorns and rainbows and roses or anything like that, because conflict is good. Pressure, creates diamonds. So conflict can actually get you out of your comfort zone and bring out the creative beast in you. So I'm not saying that everything should be peaceful. That's not realistic. There's the yin and there's the yang, positive and negative. And like, Trippie Redd himself said, there's positive and negative energy that rules the universe. All right. So that's undeniable, and we can't live without it. And we don't really get to understand each other without conflict, because conflict usually catalyzes honest conversations. So, by no means am I here to have everyone singing Kumbaya and holding hands around a campfire. I'm not here to do that. I do feel as though we should put a lot of petty stuff aside and not just stick up for the divide. I don't know if you guys read the Willie Lynch letter, which was alleged to not even be a real document. I believe that it was. That's in my opinion, though. I don't have any proof of it. But it talks about the divide and how the part of the psychological warfare manipulation that they used against the black male slaves was to pit the young against the old. And I just think that is unhealthy. I feel like if we really want to reach the youth, we just got to set better examples. You know what I mean? I sold drugs from age 12 to 29. Okay. I wasn't a big time drug dealer, no shit like that. I made a lot of money and just, I was pretty much like a wankster type. That's how I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it 100. I was a wankster type. I was like pretty much just fucking everything and never saving money. I pretty much made so much money that I took it for granted that I could always generate it. So I was just really irresponsible. Hence, the whole wankster thing. And I say that because I don't want to put out there the drug dealing thing to glorify it. I made bad decisions, period. Now I was fortunate enough to not, ever deal with any raids. You know what I'm saying? Not to do any serious jail time or anything. I was fortunate. Especially as wild as I was, pitching hand to hand and all types of craziness. What I'm saying is I made poor decisions in that lifestyle. I lost a lot of friends, a lot of good people. And I chose to try to do something with my art and to make a better way for myself. I was really irresponsible back then. I fathered a lot of children unwed that I had no financial means of providing for. And so you follow me on my podcast, my YouTube channel, follow my tattoo art, my clothing design, my writing. You're pretty much supporting the journey for me of self-correction, to create generational wealth and things like that, and to set better examples for the youth. I feel like this is bigger than me, and I can't just preach at them. I have to do it. Okay. Yes, I am a pothead. I don't condone that to underage people, but I'm certainly not going to judge them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't start smoking marijuana until I was in my older 20s. Now I sold marijuana for a good period of time, but I never started smoking until my older age. But like I said, I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. Like the media, they have to be objective, but none of these human beings are perfect. Everybody has a dark side or whatever. That's why I'm never shocked when something gets I just can't. Marcus Aurelius Meditations. If you're into reading books and you want some true value, read Marcus Aurelius Meditations. He talks about why you shouldn't be shocked. And if you've ever heard anything about scripture or Bible or whatever, the book of Ecclesiastes talks about the heart of man. We really should not be surprised. We are human. And I'm going to say it again. This might sound redundant, but read Thinking Fast and Slow by Dr. Daniel Kahneman. You just really have to, just to get a better understanding of the human mind. And I'm pretty sure there are tons of other books out there, but that was just one of my favorites. And plus, Obama gave the guy an award, so what the hell. But anyway, that's all I really want to say as far as the young versus old situation. We should just simply lead by example, man. Like judging them and pointing fingers and it's just not doing anything. You know what I mean? Especially if I feel like J. Cole with the 1985 track, I feel like he really is basically trying to set that example that I'm talking about right now. He's wanting to lead by example. I don't think that he's just attacking the youth or the new, rap culture. I think that people are intelligent. A lot of these guys are smart, like the Tekashis, Trippie Redd, because a lot of these people, and you gotta give them credit. They've come up without the ivory towers, the gatekeepers. Okay. Cause it's just really bullshit, brainwashing to manipulate you and to feel like you need a bigger platform on a brand in order to succeed. Now, before social media, that may have been true. You know what I'm saying? They had a monopoly on the entertainment industry. Now that is all gone. And there's nothing wrong if a person wants to focus on their creativity and have a label backing them. But I feel like rather than doing 360 deals, you should have some sort of partnership. The way that Jay-Z and Dame and Kareem, as big as Burks, had with Def Jam. They had a partnership. And I think the reason why they was able to easily leverage it because like Master P, and 50 Cent, they were pretty much self-made. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, they did reach out to labels or whatever, but when the labels didn't come, running, they simply did it themselves. They took and just got shit done. And that's my only thing. That's what I do. A lot of people have their opinions even on me, and I ain't even really big yet. But I am the type of person that, will most likely succeed. That's just pretty much, I just have the wherewithal to just grind and just grow through the learning curves and the growing pains and the ups and the downs, because to me, they're one and the same. Both of them are imposters and temporary. You know what I'm saying? And one should inspire you and remind you that you can get things done, and the other you should take and learn from. And that's just how I look at it. There are no actual such things as a finite failure unless you decide that that's what it's going to be. So that's all I want to say on that. We older guys should lead by example and not judge these people. We weren't no fucking better. We was out there cursing and everything when we was away from our parents, smoking pot. I even seen kids sniffing glue, all types of crazy stuff we was doing. We was talking all types of crazy, doing all types of foolishness. You know what I'm saying? I lost my virginity now, this was a late bloomer. You know what I'm saying? In my city, Baltimore. I was a late bloomer. I lost my virginity at 15, but hell, I was still a baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, I conceived my first child when I was 15, had her when she was born when I was 16. So I was a baby literally making babies. So I'm damn sure not going to point fingers or whatever. I'm just simply self-correcting and lead by example. Okay, off of that, I want to get into the Tekashi 6ix9ine and Trippie Redd ongoing beef. And I did see a lot of switch up stuff. Here's my thing about that whole situation. If in fact, and you guys may not be up on this, you may not be familiar with Bhad Bhabie, Cash Me Outside girl, Danielle Bregoli is her name. The young lady that was featured on Dr. Phil that allegedly beat her mom up or whatever and was wilding her mom up or out. But allegedly when she was 13, it was rumored that Trippie Redd actually had sex with her. She came out, cleared it up and said they only kissed. Okay. At the time, I think Trippie was 17. I think at the time he was 17 or whatever, and she was only 13. So some people have a problem with the fact that he actually kissed her, even if he didn't have sex, and tried to call out 6ix9ine for the situation that he had, which it was not proved that 6ix9ine had intercourse with the 13-year-old that was in the video. And so they feel like they're basically calling him a hypocrite and calling him out, blah, 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 blah. My thing is this. And I know I'm still a small platform. I have a lot more episodes to go, and I'm looking forward to that journey. But if to speak to these guys, I feel like this. You guys are two talented guys with, what could be great futures ahead. I don't give a fuck what anybody's opinion, as long as you keep making good music and adapting to what works and what resonates with people. As long as you're doing that, keeping a good ear, you'll be fine. Adding value to your audiences, you'll be fine. But there's no need to throw your futures away over petty beef and bullshit. There's nothing wrong for y'all. There's nothing wrong with y'all to get on, live or do anything like that and kind of like hash out problems or whatever and get shit off your chest. That's fine. But when it comes down to the level of people threatening, to take each other's lives or fighting, that shit is bullshit. You know what I mean? Will it be a viral situation? Yeah. But like, what is it really showing? Because a lot of times on the street, and unfortunately, there's a lot of impressionable youth that's out there. And I never held rappers accountable. Never. I love hip hop to its core. I've been a fan since, Rapper's Delight. You know what I'm saying? I've been a fan since Curtis Blow. I've been a fan since, Run DMC. You know what I'm saying? Rockbox. You know what I'm saying? I've been a fan since way back when. And so I certainly don't hold rappers. I certainly don't hold action, heroes, in terms of actors accountable for like violent films, violent verses, sometimes misogynistic lyrics, because I'm not a misogynist. And even though I did have a violent past coming up in Baltimore City and in our community, it's normal. In most inner cities, it's normal. I simply, at my core, I'm not a violent person. Will I stand up for myself? Will I defend myself the best I can? Yes, I would. Do I believe on black crime or human on human crime? No, I don't. I'm not an advocate of. I'm a huge advocate of self-defense. I'm a huge advocate of a right to bear arms. I don't believe in the abuse of arms, but I don't feel like law-abiding citizens should have their right to bear arms stripped away from them because of some irrational people getting their hands on. I feel like that's a problem with the system in the way that they distribute firearms and the way that they vet firearm purchases. So that's just a whole nother conversation, and I don't want to get deep. Like I said, I'm not religious or political, but I can't ignore the times and the things that go on around me. I'm just saying, as far as Trippie and Tekashi, they simply need to just keep it there. If y'all want to, say what y'all say what y'all say. You talk what you want. Your platform is your platform. I'm never going to be mad at that. I just don't want to see y'all get into a fight that may lead to something heavy. Now, if you two agree to simply square off, you know what I'm saying, and shoot a fair one, catch the fade, you know what I'm saying, and it be that, and let that go, I respect that. That's some man shit. But I just don't want to see anybody get shot, man. And it's not even about like Big and Pac. There's so many rappers that then had their lives lost over some bullshit. I don't care whether it's envy, somebody fuck somebody's girl, or whatever the situation. We don't need the pettiness, man. You know what I mean? So Trippie Redd, Tekashi, leave that shit alone. And stay away from the young girls. That's all I gotta say. Any rappers, just stay away from the young girls. Just bottom line. Or make them, just card them. You know what I mean? Card them. Do that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? Myself. I'm not perfect. No, man. I was a womanizer, cheater, all of that. But all I'm saying is I have a respect for myself, and it's not even about setting examples for my kids. I had to change my life. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, I'll set that example for you guys. Like I said, I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? I was a cheater and wilding and all this shit too. But I did change it because ultimately I respect women, I respect females, and I want to set better examples for not only my sons, but for other males. That's why I've been abstaining, for a long time, because in my personal case, when I deal with a lot of women, and it's just my luck, and I'm not bragging or nothing like that, but a lot of women really catch deep feelings if they're in a space of a relationship, and I respect their feelings, and I will never take advantage of a woman's feelings. So I chose to abstain while I self-correct and get myself together. Plus, I didn't want to bring my shit on any woman's doorstep like that. You know what I mean? In terms of relationship and getting involved with, I wanted to get my shit together. I believe in staying in my own lane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have high standards for myself, and I set high standards, and I also respect the high standards of a woman. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much why I'm getting my shit together. You know what I mean? No one owes me shit. And because I want a woman that's of a higher status, I know I had to level up. So me abstaining gives me the focus and energy to do that. Plus I had to get over my ex, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not shading her. She's a great woman, but we amicably split. And that was the first time my heart was broken. I actually love that woman, and I'm not ashamed of it. It was tough to deal with emotionally, but hey, whatever. All I'm saying is just respect the women, man. I just want to say that. And I'm not here to attack anybody that has hit on women or did any of that stuff. I'm just saying they are our equals. Women are very powerful and intelligent. we can learn a lot from. I certainly learned a lot. In my last relationship, like I said, I consider her like a mentor. Actually, you know what I'm saying? So just respect the women, guys. And that's pretty much it. Don't, talk about respecting women when it's convenient and try to call each other out. Just respect the women. And nobody's perfect. You know, I don't know what happened in either your cases concerning like the women. Just call young fans. Don't let them get away. Don't let them around your studio sessions or whatever on your tour bus, backstage or whatever without carding them, period. Cause I do understand that some of the young girls will act as if they're older and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always carded females as a tattoo artist. And that's just pretty much just how I roll. You know what I mean? Because I've seen, cause it's easy to manipulate young women as a tattoo artist or anything like that because they want to be cool to get tattoos. But I felt like I needed to set a better example. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I was trying to be bougie and acting like I was all this, cause some people did treat me as if I was trying to do that or like I was too good when other artists are tattooing the young, girls and guys. I don't have a problem with that and I'm not judging them. I have tattooed, 16-year-olds and things like that with the consent of their parents. I have done that because I feel like it's ultimately, the parents' decision and that, and in the state of Maryland, it's legal. So I'm not saying that I don't get all high and mighty, but I do respect some artists who will not tattoo somebody underage, even with consent. And I respect that as well. I'm just saying, just protect yourselves. You know, card these women. You know what I'm saying? Figure out their real ages and things of that before you go doing anything wild. You know, that's pretty much all I want to say on that. You know, just don't want to see them brothers get jammed up over messing with the wrong female. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, get into a fight and anything leading to anything more serious. And that's pretty much it. You know, I wanted to touch on today. I have to say this. I have to give a shout out to DJ Academics. And the reason why is because I am a huge fan. So like I said, I will never shade any, hip hop personalities, right? I will always give credit where credit is due. Academics people should really like tip their hats to this guy. You know what I'm saying? He's really a true influence on this culture. And I feel like, in a lot of good ways. Is he himself perfect? No. But I feel like he's opened up this platform and shed a light on the conversation of hip hop. He made hip hop news interesting again because quite frankly, a lot of this shit was born besides the Breakfast Club was born. And you know, the Breakfast Club, they're multifaceted platform. They don't only focus on hip hop. They focus on all things celebrity, you know, R&B, all types of stuff, you know. So we needed someone like Academic. So I would never shade him, you know, even though I'm not a media person. I'm just simply a creator. I just want to tip my hat off to him, for the work that he does, because I notice a lot of people benefit off of the work that he puts in, but then want to shade him on another hand. And we all are entitled to our opinions. I just don't believe in tearing people down to come up. And anyway, this is the end of episode 5. Sorry for the tangent. This is SP the Artist signing out.
The podcast you just heard was recorded with Anchor. If you want to make your own, download the Android or iOS app completely free from anchor.fm/podcast. That's anchor.fm/podcast.